Hello everybody, it's Sarah, and today I am finally, after 1 month break, here again with a Top 5 Wednesday. Top 5 Wednesday was created by Lainey from Ginger Eats Lainey, and I'll leave her channel as well as the Goodies group in the description down below. The topic for this week is Top 5 Most Badass Characters, and this topic really deserves a video of like the 20 most badass characters or 50 or whatever, because there's just such an abundance of characters out there that are so badass that it's just almost impossible to just pick 5. So for this topic I actually almost didn't choose any female characters because I already have a video of my top 10 favorite strong female characters or most badass female characters, which I'll leave in the description down below. And the second thing that I have is, on this list I will not have any Black Jewels characters because in my opinion there is nothing more badass than anybody from the Black Jewels series. I'll just tell you now that they get the crown of being the most badass, and that's all I have to say about them. And also, I only chose one character per author. That is kind of the rules that I set for myself, and now let's get started. So the first character on this list is the only character from a non-fantasy series, and that's Mark Watney from The Martian by Andy Weir. And do I have to say something else than that he survived alone on Mars and he has so much humor, and I just love this book. Seriously, if you haven't read this, I think this is a book that everybody would love. I also have a review on this, I think it's spoiler free, which I'll leave in the description box down below. Next up is Edward, aka Ted Forrester, aka Death from the Anita Blake Vampire Hunter series. I only wanted to choose one character from an urban fantasy paranormal series, and I could have gone with any vampire or supernatural being, but I chose instead Edward. Edward is a human. He is a bounty hunter who specializes in supernatural beings because everything else is too boring for him. And also he's a human, as I have said, but he was nicknamed Death, but not by anybody, by the supernatural community. Vampires and werewolves and witches and whatever else is out there fears him so much that they gave him the nickname Death. Now that's pretty badass. Next is a character where I am not quite sure if he is generally badass or just really, really lucky. And that is Quoth from the Kingkiller Chronicles by Patrick Rothfuss, the young one, not the old one. And what decided for me to give him a spot on this list is a particular scene in the second book where he just proves that he can do stuff. He is so freaking badass, especially in the second book. In the first book he's just lucky, I guess, but in the second book he just grows into the badassery, I would say. And I just love him. He is so amazing. Next I have another kind of genius, and she is the only female on this list because I felt she deserved to be on one of my top badass character lists, and that is Annabeth from the Percy Jackson and the Olympians, as well as the Heroes of Olympus series, although I guess more the Heroes of Olympus series than the Percy Jackson series. And Annabeth is a demigod. Her mother is the goddess Athena, so she's pretty smart since her mother is the goddess of wisdom. And especially in the Heroes of Olympus series, in the 3rd and 4th book, There are just some scenes where she proves that she is totally badass and she doesn't at all stand in the shadow of Percy Jackson. And that she doesn't need any guy to save her. Now, my last kick-ass character is a character from Brandon Sanderson's books. And it was really hard. He had some serious competition. I was like, okay, Kaladin is kind of very badass in the Stormlight Archive series. And in the new series, Wax and Wayne, I love both of them and they are both really badass. But ultimately I had to give this spot to Calcia from the original Mistborn trilogy. I love Calcia. He is funny, he is selfless, I guess. Although I don't really know if he is selfless, but yeah. And he is just freaking badass as hell. And I love him. I would argue that maybe he is the most badass character that I put on this list right now. All of the characters that I told you right now are not in any particular order because I don't think that you can rate badassery. Because, you know, there are so many different definitions. Sometimes it's very physical, sometimes it's smart and witty people who are badass. So, who knows what badassery really is. Also, there were just a lot of characters that I couldn't mention, which just kills me. That's all I have to say right now. Tell me your favorite badass characters. Tell me who I missed. Tell me who you think shouldn't have been on this list if you have read any of those books. And I hope I'll see you guys soon. Kiss, kiss!